So Trinity finally made her in-ring debut this week, which ended up being pretty poetic because it ended up they pushed it out enough, so it ended up being the 1 year anniversary of her leaving WWE. She debuted in the ring for Impact Wrestling.
Nice.
Yes, she wrestled. What was cool about this is, even though it was not the main event, and I saw some argument that maybe it should have been the main event, which I get their argument, especially because of what the main event ended up being, but she did get 10 and a half minutes commercial free. They did not go to usually a lot of time during women's matches on Impact, they will hit the commercial in there. They don't do picture in picture, so it's just straight up commercial. So they got whole 10 and a half minutes commercial free. They were the first of 3 women's matches that night. The other matches were like 2.5 minutes piece, but
wait, are you telling me that you can get more than one women's match on a wrestling show?
Yeah, and a 2 hour and a 2 hours on TV, and have a backstage segment with other women.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
So Trinity, she looked great. I thought KiLynn was a really good opponent for her. Like, we talked about this before when we knew, because obviously everything got spoiled when she was taping. So KiLynn is one half. If you're not familiar with Impact, KiLynn King is one half of the Coven, which is the current Impact Knockouts tag team champion. So I thought it was a nice little, maybe a little petty that they had her first opponent be a tag team champion. Considering everything that happened with the WWE tag teams, which I will say, I heard they vacated their women's title or their tag team titles on Friday because apparently Liv Morgan is injured, and so she and Raquel vacated. So it's poor. I saw Bailey tweeting about it, and those poor tag titles.
They never cared.
No, they never did, and so now
you don't put those on the Iconics when Sasha and Bailey are the obvious choice,
right?
And tell me that you're serious about something.
Right. They never were serious about those. Bailey and
I mean, that was the beginning of the end for all of the people that we're seeing, like now Trinity for people like Mercedes for Trinity. That was the beginning of the end right there. Was those tag belts was for all that talk about the women's revolution and all these crazy things. Then they did that with as soon as it was like, sweet, we're going to branch out and really like make a division of this. It was like, here's your stupid belts. We're going to smack them on the Iconics, and are really on it. Like,
right.
What a terrible match. What you know what? This is poetic. We'll call this poetic justice.
Yes. So Trinity looked great. She worked with KiLynn. KiLynn is a lot. If you're not familiar with KiLynn King is tall. She is definitely so, and Trinity she's fairly tall herself, but like there was a little bit of size difference, but they worked it out. She looked for it to be her first match in a year. I thought she looked great. They are still presenting her like a huge star. Like, we talked about how she's already got shirt's already been going out. Now she's got a micro brawler. Like, they're getting ready to, like, I think, I don't know if it's available or they're taking pre-orders or something, but she's got a micro brawler. So they're all in on merchandising with her. And then we do know she had an open challenge for Under Siege, which is the Impact pay-per-view. We now know that she's wrestling Giselle Shaw. Who has been making quite the name for herself in the division. And so this is I think that'll be a really good test for her. So she's already going to be in a pay-per-view match. Like, they are really going all out and making
giving her they're giving her the whole thing and saying, have at it.
Right. And of course, we've talked about it. Like, there have been concerned people, obviously, were like, why did she go to Impact? Well, this is why. They're treating her the way she should be treated. They're presenting her like she should be presented. They are, they're cashing in on her. They are having merch for her. They're putting her on their papper-view. They've already in the first episode where we see her, she's in a segment with your 2 biggest women that are your 2 most popular women, Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace. Like, she's already in that thing. She's already told them, whoever wins, I want a shot with you. I'm here to win gold. Like, so she's already like, I think Impact was the smart decision. No matter how long she stays, if she stays 6 months, if she stays a year, if she stays 5 years, however long she stays, I think going to Impact was the smart move for her, and it was there because it's reestablishing her. And like you've said, you know, she's got to learn who she is as Trinity, not as Naomi. She was Naomi for a very long time. Who is she without that? So
Impact is such a good place, I think, to do that.
Right.
I really do.
Yeah. Impact is, so it could be so maybe it is just a stepping stone for her before she moves on to another company. However they do that. But yeah, it is definitely a good way to build her back up, get her back in front of the crowd, let her figure out who she is, and then she can move on. And so I think it was a very smart move for her. And obviously it'll see, like, once we get past the pay-per-view, like how they continue to book her and to continue to use her. But if they keep on the path that they're currently on, like, Trinity could be huge for them, and they're betting on Trinity to bring in eyeballs for them and to sell pay-per-views for them, which sometimes that they struggle with doing. Sometimes access is not easy to find for people who are watching that way. So it's mutually, I think it's mutually beneficial for both of them. I think it was a smart business move for both of them. And I hope it continues to go as well as it has been so far. And I hope this continues to be, and the fans were really into her. And I hope that, wherever she goes, I mean, she's already released, like, she has this cute little graphic she posted of, like, all the places you can see her this summer. Like,
nice.
And like, because there's several, they're in Canada for some tapings. They're in Georgia or in Atlanta, like, in a couple of weeks. I think they're doing, like, weekend tapings or something there. Like, so she's already promoting, like, where people can see her, which I think is really great. Oh, and then I found out, so in her entrance during the match, when the lights went down, obviously she's doing her glow things, and so there's glow sticks everywhere. Well, then it came out later from one of the set people. Mercedes brought those for the fans. She gave them to the fans so that they had something to hold up while she was wrestling. And I was like, fun. She's such a great friend.
That's like, awesome.
Getting the fans giving those to the people so those could be distributed and they could hold them up during her match. And yeah, it was really good. I'm really happy for her. And KiLynn, I think I mentioned it before. I think that says a lot about what they think about KiLynn, to let KiLynn be her first opponent. KiLynn has worked very hard from her days on. She spent a lot of time on Dark and Elevation. She wrestled down in the Nightmare Factory as well. I forget the promotion that she's a champion for, a promotion other than being the one half of the Impact tag or Knockouts tag team champions. And so I thought that was also a really huge vote of confidence for KiLynn, and that they must think a lot of KiLynn to put her in that position to be Trinity's very first match. And KiLynn, I thought KiLynn did a really good job. And I thought that was a really good spot, and she's getting, and rightfully so, Trinity should be getting a lot of attention, but I think KiLynn's kind of getting overlooked a little bit. And I thought that, so I just wanted to point out that, I thought KiLynn did a really great job.
I mean, when you're being a professional, like, nobody's going to notice you. I mean, it's like, that's but part of the, like, downside of being a pro is that there are times when no one's going to notice you because you're doing your job perfectly.
And she did a really great job. So I thought that was,
but I think you're right. I think that's probably, like, it lends credence to her as Impact isn't taking her lightly.
She's not, and she's not been in Impact very long. I want to say
awesome.
3 or 4 months, if that. So KiLynn's
great.
Yeah.
So that means they're trying to do something with both of them.
Exactly.
We got these people, and we're gonna get them working, and we're gonna use them.
And then they've been using Jody Threat's only been there a couple of months, and Jody Threat had a match that night. She's basically just running through people as she should, because Jody Threat. If you didn't see her match with, if you didn't see Jody Threat's match with Athena, this is what kickstarted Athena's new character and this whole run. She's been on an ROH, so kudos to Jody Threat as well. So the Impact Knockouts division's got some exciting things going on over there. So I'm very happy to see that.